honor their service and sacrifice. Robert Adams, Springfield Avenue, October 1944, died in England. John Anderson of New England Avenue, died December 1944 in England. Albert Angelo died in April 1945 in Germany. Warren Briggs Road died November 1944 in Germany. Frank Bruno of Ashwood Avenue died December 1944 in Germany. Henry Bystrack of Weaver Street died January 1945 in Belgium. John Caparasso of Broad Street died September 1942 in Washington. Alan Carey of Summit Avenue died September 1944 in France. Sam Colangelo of Morris Avenue died in Okinawa. Robert Cook of Fernwood Road died January 1944 in the South Pacific. Francis Connolly of Springfield Avenue died July 1944 in France. James Cooney of Springfield Avenue died in France. Orrin Crankshaw died February 1945 in Iwo Jima. William Crowfoot of Edgar Street died November 1944 in Italy.
Salvatore Dalomo, Albury Street, January 1944 in Italy. James Dempsey, Lafayette Street, August 1944, France. John D'Annunzio, Morris Avenue, June 1944, in France. Frank Von Dow, Oakley Avenue, September 1944, Burma. George Erb III, Springfield Avenue, September 1944, in France. Leonard Feebush, Irving Place, December 1944 in France. James Flood, Springfield Avenue, January 1945 in Belgium. William Foster, Whitridge Road, March 1945 in England. James Gilmartin, Maple Street, April 1945, Germany. Stanley Hagen, Van Dyke Place, September 1944, Germany. William Herb, Beekman Road, October 1943, Georgia. Robert Hogan, Essex Road, June 1945 in Okinawa. Frederick Hopping, June 1944 in France. Moses Ladzana, Aubrey Street in Saipan. Herbert Irwin, Bedford Road. Joseph Karzynski, Ashwood Avenue, January 1945 in Italy. Ernest Jardillo, Henry Street, 1944 in France. Jean Kelly, Edgar Street, July 1944 in France. Thomas Kenny, Kent Place Boulevard, Germany. W.D. Keiss, Hobart Avenue, July 1944 in Saipan. William Kipp, Fernwood Road, Pacific Island. Hans Cope, Oakley Avenue in France. Salvatore Labagana, William Street, July 1944, Japanese prison camp. Frederick Ames, Robert Milligan Jr., Elm Street, 1944, South Pacific. Henry Levesque, Edgar Street at Sea. Frederick Libertino, Springfield Avenue, December 1944, stateside.
Paul Link Jr. of Laurel Ave, died October 1944 in the South Pacific. Anthony Maffei of Walnut Street, died April 1944 in Germany. Edwin Malley died January 1943 in the Mediterranean. Rodney McDermott of DeBerry Place, died April 1945 in Germany. Lyle Mooney Jr. of Denman Place, died 1942 in a Japanese prison camp. Kenneth Nelson of Ashland Road, died November 1944 in Germany. Richard Olson of Shadyside Avenue, died March 1944 in Hawaii. Joseph Peronio of Chestnut Street, died June 1943 in the South Pacific. John Reynolds of River Road, died January 1944 in Italy. John Roselet of Springfield Avenue, died May 1945 in Germany. Anthony Senzara of Chestnut Avenue, died May 1945 in Germany. Camilio Shiop of Clark Street, died stateside. Francis Scremente of Morris Avenue, died June 1944 in France. Harry Shanklin of Locust Drive, died September 1944 in France. Stanley Silberman of Edgar Street, died December 1944 in Germany. Edward Stahl of Franklin Place, died December 1944 in Germany. Richard Stafford of Manor Hill Road, died June 1942 stateside. Robert Thromley of Tulip Street, died December 1941 in the Pacific Islands. John Todd of Kent Place Boulevard, died March 1943 in the South Pacific. Salvador Valenti, Morris Avenue, died May 1944 in France. Arthur Vivian of Beekman Terrace, died 1944 in the South Pacific. Harold Wall of Springfield Avenue, died May 1944 in Romania. Waldron Ward of Whitridge Road, died September 1944 in Pacific. Wilmore Wilson of Passaic Avenue, died October 1944 in Italy. Donald White of Oakland Ridge Avenue, died January 1945 in the South Pacific. Charles Young of Crescent Acres Court, died February 1945 in Europe.
Thank you, Miles, Wells, and Duke.